21. They're trying to get back there again. Meanwhile, Duke, they have made 10 NCAA tournaments under John Kerr, including 4 of the last 6. They want to go on a deeper run this time, and we're underway here at historic Riggs Field. Clemson right to left in the orange, Duke left to right in the white here in the quarterfinal. Happy to have you with us, along with Michael Lahoud. I'm Joe Malfa, and right away, a corner for the Tigers.
Clemson, they want to play this game at a fast tempo, get this home crowd going in. Both sides very good on set pieces. I give Duke the slight edge, but set piece delivery is everything in big games like this.
The service whipped in and guided away by Ruben Massalis. Starting 11 really is no secret at any point anymore for Duke. You look up and down the 11 and, you know, injuries will happen here. Dips in form will happen there. Michael, you look up and down this entire starting 11. They've almost started every game together this year, as this one's out over the line for a goal kick. Every single player, bar one, in the starting 11 for Duke tonight played all 16 games. And the one player who was the exception, Wayne Frederick, played 15 of the 16 games.
Only 15? That's poor by their... No, I'm just kidding. That's incredible. That usually does not happen. That's a credit to the medical staff. The players for having the discipline and also keeping themselves healthy. That's why you're seeing a cohesive Duke side late on in this season.
Here's Massalis, dueling 3-5-2s in this game, which always makes for an interesting chess match on both sides. You're playing the same style, you're playing the same principles of sorts, although you might see a little bit more man marking from one side than the other in this game, but same shape, same tactics, same high-octane offenses. It's going to come down to the individual matchups and the execution as this night grows older.
I think the big moments are going to come in both boxes. Both teams boast attackers who can change a game in the blink of an eye. For Clemson, look no further than Usman Silla. He can win a game on his own, oftentimes has done that by having the magic formula at the final whistle. For Duke, they have their front two in Bjornsson and Jago.
Massalis, he earns the first corner of the night for Duke. Two teams, again, two of the top 3 in goals per game. It's 2.88 goals per game for Duke. That's number 1 in the nation. 2.80 for Clemson. That's number 3 in the nation. So naturally, Michael, we're on our way to a 0-0 nail biter tonight.
Penalties, of course. Come on.
See that star above the crest for Duke came in 1986 when their current head coach John Kerr was a player. Periano floats the corner, back post, punched away by Joseph Ndema.
Confident goalkeeping from Ndema. Looks to have really grown since we first saw him stepping into college soccer, and it's been on set pieces that he's gotten much better. Has all the tools, athletically can play with his feet, but a season ago struggled with crosses, struggled with set pieces. This season really stepping up and making himself felt around the box.
And he's somebody who has received some of the accolades, Defensive Player of the Week, and in the conversation as far as the all-freshman team last year, was the all-freshman goalkeeper in the ACC. But even though he has some accolades, some believe, and by some I mean head coach Mike Noonan, that he flies under the radar and deserves a little bit more credit for the work he's done in helping get this team where it is. Now it's Arthur Duquesne, the early ball in, diving header saved by Eystone.
Good play, and it's Tyler Trimnell inserted in this lineup. You have to take advantage of your chances. Arthur Duquesne doing an excellent job of picking up his head and picking out his man. But Julian Eystone there with a comfortable save.
He replaces Nathan Richmond in the starting 11. Tyler Trimnell, only 1 start in the regular season, 12 appearances, lifelong Clemson fan. Mom graduated from Clemson, it's in the blood. Only had 2 goals as a freshman, 15 appearances off the bench, 11 appearances off the bench this year. Only his 2nd career start, and it comes at a really big time.
He'll be facing an opponent he is very familiar with, and maybe this is what head coach Mike Noonan has in mind. Goal he scored this year, guess who was against, Joe? The team they're playing?
Duke?
Yes.
Mike Noonan looking on. What he's done for this program, nothing short of terrific in his tenure now. One of the winningest active coaches in the NCAA. Chance brewing though for the Blue Devils, and Dama comes out and gathers it. You saw Jago go flying into the net. He crashes really hard and is so dangerous up top.
As part of the Blue Devil blueprint, Masalis adept at picking out a runner in the box, and both fullbacks, whether it's Arthur Duquesne or Ruben Masalis, they're going to be so key to the success of their teams. And it's left side, strong side for both Duke and Clemson.
A free kick on the way now for Duke. Michael, you're familiar with twin telepathy, correct? Like one twin can feel what the other twin feels. Does that exist with your alma mater? Did you just feel a little tinge of pain because it just went final? UNC 1, Wake Forest 0. Upset, 7 seed takes down number 2.
Yeah, I just have a pounding headache since you mentioned that. As soon as I just have it on one screen to my left, and man, used to saying when I was playing, down goes the Dukies, but down goes the Demon Deacons. Shock result in the ACC tournament.
UNC moves on. They will take on Syracuse in a battle of upset-minded teams. Syracuse lit up with another home game. They were the 6th seed, UNC the 7th seed. We welcome those of you who just joined us after watching North Carolina upset Wake Forest. Happy to have you along from historic Riggs Field in Clemson, South Carolina. Along with Michael LaHood, I'm Joe Malfa. Scoreless to begin here between the 4-seed Clemson and 5-seed Duke. 64th meeting all time between these programs. It's split almost down the middle. 31-27 in Clemson's favor with 5 draws, but lately, last 10 meetings, 8 have gone Clemson's way. It's been one-sided, and they're hoping it stays that way tonight with a spot in the semifinal on the line.
For the Tigers, making Riggs Field historic Riggs Field. So many coaches, and you had a chance to talk with Coach Kerr. They refer to it that way for a reason. The respect. You look at the record that they have here. Astonishing. Making this place a true fortress in college soccer.
There's your first look through the lines at Ulfur Bjornsson. He's come alive this year. The freshman from Iceland, slow start to the year. He ended up with 9 goals and 4 assists. And in chatting with head coach John Kerr, he chalked it up to simply adjusting to life in the United States, coming from Iceland. The playing style different in the Icelandic league than it is collegiately in the U.S. The temperature, as you can imagine, it's a lot hotter in the south here than it is in Iceland. You're pushing triple digits all the training camp. It took some getting used to. But once he found that comfort level, the goals started pouring in. Watch out for him tonight. There he is pressing again.
It's that sort of striker, and you see that with a lot of European players where they have the technique, but it's the striker's instinct that you can't teach, the nose for goal that you can't teach, that you love. It's why you recruit players like that, because in close matches like this, in ACC tournament play, you might only get 1/2 chance, and it's a striker like him that'll make it count.
They've got a stable of animals out there. They've got Ulfur, which is Icelandic for wolf. They've got Forrester Jago, who does a goal celebration that we've seen a lot this year with his 13 goals known as the Bear. And on the bench, they have the Bull, if we see him later in this match. That's Bull Jorgensen, the freshman from Norway.
Oh, geez, Joe. You're on a heater so far. Keep it going, man.
We'll see if their attack can keep their heater going again. 17 goals for those of you just joining us. Showed at top of the broadcast. 17 goals in the last 3 games for Duke. Just rolling into this one. 2 of the top offenses in the country. Duke averaging 2.88 goals per game. Clemson at 2.80. They are number 1 and number 3, respectively. And those first 3 stats you see there, goals per game, goal differential, points per game, both these programs are top 6 in D1 in those categories. And then just for fun, 11 unique goal scorers for Duke, 14 for Clemson. So the wealth is being shared throughout the roster.
And I love to see that. It keeps you guessing if you're an opposing side of who the player you need to mark. For Duke, You look at the service, the quality in midfield. Nick Periano, he's going to be tasked on set-piece deliveries, but also playing the final pass to feed the front two. And for Clemson, I think it's the two wide players supporting Ousmane Sylla. No Nathan Richmond tonight. So far in this match, big loss. If we don't see him, up will have to step Tyler Trimnell.
And no official word passed along on Richmond. We've seen him regularly in the starting 11, but that was the lone big difference with Trimnell taking his spot. Also, Elton Shafamba into the midfield starting. Here he is pressuring. Amir Daly with it now. Under some pressure by Duquesne. Trimnell finds Sylla, has a runner to his right. Sylla continues along, feeds it through, and there's the opener for Clemson. It's Tyler Trimnell, his second goal of the year against Duke. Big player in a big moment against a team he's familiar scoring against.
It's deja vu here at Riggs Field. You take a bit of a gamble by playing a player who hasn't started much this season. And boy, does it cash in. And guess who? Ousmane Sylla at the heart of things for Clemson. There's been a lot of good energy in this match. Clemson, the more aggressive side, moving it from one side to the other. Manhart finds Ousmane Sylla. The weight of the pass sets up the finish. It leads Trimnell into the right space. Sylla there tees it up. Trimnell knows he has to get it across the face of the goal, and it's not the power, but the precision of the strike. He soul rolls it, slow rolls it, down to the bottom corner. He's looking up to the heavens saying, thank you very much. And Clemson saying, thank you very much for giving them the lead.
Third goal of the season. As I mentioned, second time he's now scored against Duke, part of that 2-0 win earlier in the year for Clemson. And look at that record, 139, 11, and 11 when scoring first under Mike Noonan.
So you're saying there's a chance,
a pretty good one, a pretty good one. Thankfully for the iPhone calculator that we have in our pocket, it's an 86% chance. 86% of the time they have gone on to win under Mike Noonan when they have scored first. There's the quick math for you.
Were you a math major in school? You had to be. You had
far from it. Far from it.
A common sense major.
Periano. Now this is one game though, Michael, where you can maybe throw that stat out. To be fair, whipped in here, and it's grabbed by Ndema, because in those previous 161 times, I don't know exactly how many times they've been going up against the #1 attack in the nation. You and I both expect maybe upwards of 4 or 5 plus total goals in this game, and that's just the first of what could be many. So still a long way to go, but it bodes well historically for Clemson when scoring first under Mike Noonan.
These are two sides, especially for Duke. Duke tends to grow into games, and they're not going to be fazed by going down a goal. But it's what comes next. The next 5 minutes is how do you respond, how do you react? And so far, we've seen them in the first minute, just keeping the ball moving around. That's a consistency, and this group of players playing together for so far this season. There's a sense of calm that surrounds them in the face of adversity.
Free kick on the way for Duke. And I'll bring it back up for the audience that just joined us at the conclusion of North Carolina-Wake Forest. Since you mentioned it before we joined the rest of the nation, it was Trimnell coming into the lineup for Richmond. And you mentioned top of the broadcast, maybe there's a reason for that. Because he had that goal earlier in the year, Mike Noonan pushing the right button again. And it's a player against a team he's familiar scoring against, getting it done.
We saw it in the earlier game, the first game of the day, Virginia versus Syracuse. And who scores for Virginia? A player who has a good track record against Syracuse. It's Leo Alfonso. There's something that just happens as a player psychologically where you get in the zone. You get in that mental space and you have an air of confidence about you. When you saw Trimnell going in towards goal, there was no question mark that he was going to score it. He takes it in strides and he puts it in the back of the net.
Leo Alfonso has scored in 4 straight games now against Syracuse for UVA, but they ended up falling in penalties for the 2nd year in a row in the tournament against Syracuse, who again will go on to take on North Carolina and host them. So there's your number 6 seed getting to host again. Chips fall where they may sometimes in the tournament. It'll be Syracuse and UNC in one semifinal, and now the rest of the night we determine the other. Clemson Duke here, and it'll be followed by Louisville on the road against Notre Dame. Fed out wide to Meinhard. Alex Meinhard calmly goes back with it.
For all the consistency that Duke has had, and new faces, fresh faces, adapting well to the Atlantic Coast Conference, Clemson has really done a good job of getting players like Alex Meinhard to settle in and provide that supporting cast of goals alongside Usman Silla.
John Kerr was incredibly complimentary of the way that Clemson has grown into this season, how much they've changed since these teams first met. It's put behind Bjornsson and cleared away by Gabay. And one area that John Kerr pointed to as far as slowing down this Clemson team, they have a lot of weapons, and we pointed to it, 14 unique goal scorers this year. You never really know who it's going to come from. They run really deep. He's been coaching against Mike Noonan for the better part of 3 decades. Those two go back to the Ivy Leagues together before they ventured into the ACC. And you know it's a team that's always going to be deep. Scoring could come from anywhere, and it's Tyler Trimnell early on for the Tigers.
It would be Mike Noonan without identifying 2 things a part of this Clemson program. They press. And when they press, they make subs to keep things fresh. On that national championship run in 2001, every 10, 15 minutes, players were changing in the second half.
Falls nicely for Frederick. Wayne Frederick, it deflects up into the air, and Damo, good bit of goalkeeping. Blasts that one into the 10th row, and he's able to save it from going out for a corner. Meinhard taken down. So now how do you react if you're Duke getting punched in the mouth early?
You keep it steady, and they've gotten in behind Clemson's press, and it's going to come down to the midfield. Clemson putting that high line. When you look at them beyond midfield, you go 10, 15 yards, that back line is there, and don't get frustrated. Don't turn the ball over here in midfield. Don't do that for starters.
Poor clearance effort almost finds its way to Usman Silla, and play will be stopped now with Kenny Hott down holding his face. Sophomore from Lincroft, New Jersey. 2022 ACC all-freshman team, national freshman best 11, number 2 freshman on the Top Drawer Soccer list last year. Terrific opening year to his career at Duke, and he's followed that up. 14 starts again this year, patrolling that midfield. And they're actually going to go over to the monitor here. So in the tournament here, the experimental review is enacted. And basically what that means is normal VAR, for what those of you know. In ACC play coming in, you can only review penalties that were given to go back and see if it was correctly given. But the quote-unquote experimental portion of video review here in the tournament is going back to relitigate something that maybe wasn't called on the field. And they might have spotted something here that could warrant a red card. For them to go to the monitor, something perhaps was spotted.
Oh, that's
wow, right there.
Punch in the face. Oof. That is not good play, and is lacking discipline there. Is that Smart? Smart making a foolish play. Yeah,
There's
that's
really not much to that. It seems pretty black and white that this should be 11v10 going forward.
And sometimes in big matches, you get a rush of blood to the head, but they're just grappling with each other. I don't know if something was said, but there is no place for that. And Mike Noonan's going to be furious at Smart when he gets found out for this. mean, whether you look at it in full time, real time, or slow-mo makes it look even worse. That's just a punch and just stupid play from Smart. He starts it there where he plays the ball, and there's nothing much in that. Hott's trying to grapple with him and get on the other side of him. Just loses his cool.
And just to confirm, because it's not the same venue to venue, I know this came up for you and I in the Louisville-Pittsburgh game the other night, where in Pittsburgh, the referees weren't looking at the same cameras we're looking at, different vantage points they have. The officials tonight are looking at the same cameras we're looking at. So exactly what you're seeing is what they're seeing here as they try and decide exactly what the call is. The coaches are being informed right now of the decision, so your reactions here might give us a little bit of an indication as to which way this is going. I don't know, you want to be a judge of body language? It almost seems like John Kerr is upset, which would mean maybe no red card, but we'll see what the official decision is. Referee is calling the involved parties over. Well, no official word sent our way yet, but reading the tea leaves here, Michael, I think Sean Smart might have gotten away with this.
Oh, man.
Because Duke seems really upset right now. Wow, so we were just told what was communicated to the coaches. There was a slap, but there was no intent involved. So play on at 11v11. Michael, the floor is yours.
Joe, I'm sorry. It sounded like you said no intent. The cans that I'm wearing are muffled up. Are you kidding me? No intent? Man, Clemson using one of their 9 lives there on that play, because that should have been marching orders. There was plenty of intent on that. Duke, rightfully so, aggrieved.
If it was with his left hand as he was swiping through, I might be inclined to agree there was no intent and he was just fighting it off. But the fact that it was his right hand across his body, just think about that for a second. Where your right hand is had to travel all the way across your body to the guy's face. And it doesn't really happen in the natural form of your running.
All you have to do is you look at the swing and you look at his face. Smart looks angry. It's an angry swipe at the guy's face. And I don't know what camera angles they have, maybe not the ones we have here in the booth, but wow, missed opportunity that could change this game.
Man, just to clarify, I've been told that they are looking at the same camera angles we are, so just a matter of the decision of the referee to judge no intent. And we play on at 11v11, but keep that in the memory bank if this game gets a little spicier as things go along. Flicked on by Bjorson. And right back his way, looking for a Jago, holding things up. And a free kick on the way for Duke.
Duke's going to have to scrap and claw for every inch. And as you see, John Kerr, impressive resume, really turned this program and evolved it in its second iteration since he's been in charge in the last couple seasons.
10 NCAA tournament berths under his guidance now. 4 of the last 6 included. Made it back-to-back years in 17 and 18, missed 19 and 20. And then again the last 2 years in 21 and 22. Duke 3-time ACC tournament champions. Went back-to-back in 05 and 06. Haven't won since then. Kerr has been coaching now since 2008. So he's looking for his first ACC tournament title as a coach of this team.
You had to bring up 06, Joe. You just had to bring it up. I was on the field against those Dukies, the likes of Mike Videra, Mike Grella, who ended up having a stellar career in Major League Soccer and at Duke.
And Mike Grella actually might see one of his marks fall. Jago's 13 goals this year, the most by a Duke player since Grella scored 14 back in 2008. Clemson gets the early goal from Tyler Trimnell, and that man, Sean Smart, perhaps lucky to still be on the field. Went to the video review. You and I thought he was on his way for an early shower. Referees deemed no intent on his slap punch, open-handed punch, whatever you want to call it, to the face of Kenny Hott. So it continues on at 11-11 with Clemson up a goal, and this year they're 7-1-2 when scoring first. Their lone loss this year when scoring first came all the way back in the season opener. They went up 1-0 early on at UCF, then unranked, now number 1 in the country, and UCF came back to win 2-1.
It's amazing how the landscape has changed so much throughout this season. We've seen how many number 1 teams come, go, fall. UCF, they have been brewing. I remember last season watching them play Wake Forest, and there was something there, something about that team that they had a character about them. They had a creativity about them and a will to win that I think is now really showing itself and really showing fruition.
Shifamba spots the run of Smart in behind, and it's out for a goal kick. Mike Noonan looking on, head coach of this Clemson team. 14 years it's been now. One-time national champion, 2-time ACC tournament champ. And they feel like this might be another year for a run. They have the young talent. They have the older experienced talent that had been there, done that, and won the national title just a couple of years ago. And they've put things together down the stretch of this season.
As long as they have Usman Silla fit, that is a player primed to lead this team forward and already involved in a goal contribution with the assist to Trimnell. But they're also getting certain players healthy at the right time. Mohamed Said playing their last match, and he's going to be a big contributor. If they can get him healthy, keep him healthy, that is a massive boost.
And their superpower this year has been bouncing back from less than stellar results with a big positive result. I won't say poor performances, because mixed within that, there have been some games where Mike Noonan has felt they played well but didn't get the result. But they've had a number of results that didn't go their way when they lost to UCF, when they lost to Wake. Hold on a second, just want to slip through. Open in now, Trimnell cutting back. Chance here again for the Tigers. He lays it back, hoping for Silla, but it's cleared away. But each time, Michael, that they lost this year, UCF, Wake, Notre Dame, they bounced back and followed that up with a victory. And it wasn't a loss last time out, but the regular season ended with a 1-1 draw against NC State. So you know they want to back that up with a big victory here tonight.
They'd been scoring so many goals and scoring freely that was a surprising result for them. But sometimes having a time to pause, having a time to reflect, and getting that extra break against the Duke side that had to play in the first round, I think you're seeing some of that early energy, some of that almost like bottled up, pent up energy to get back in competitive play in the ACC tournament.
And it worked out nicely early with the goal by Trimnell to make it 1-0 Clemson. Tight quarters down there in the corner. Ball still in for now, and it's out for a Duke throw. Whoever wins this will go on to meet the winner of Louisville and Notre Dame in the semifinal.
Don't for 1 second sleep on that Louisville team. You and I got to watch them. They're getting players, the likes of a Gage Guerra, although he played limited minutes. They're getting him back at the good time, and 2 games he's been back, 2 wins, and the last one the most entertaining.
Very curious to see how Notre Dame comes out tonight. Had the first round bye, and that was after a 6-0 shellacking of Pitt in the regular season finale that turned some heads. This one played in behind, something brewing again now for Clemson, and saved at the near post by Julian Eystone. What a run in behind from Alex Meinhardt, who's starting to find some space.
And this left side is really becoming fruitful. Clever movement from Meinhardt. And that first touch there cuts off the angle from Amir Daly, where Daly knows if he touches him, that's a penalty. Eystone has made 1 or 2 class saves to keep this game within reach.
Usman Silla's delivery to the back post is fumbled and now cleared. Eyestone 6'6" with a 6'11" wingspan. It was still just barely off his fingertips and almost into the path for an easy tap-in by Potmar Boy.
Saw all of that wingspan on display there. That last save. With the angle Meinhardt was taking towards goal, there was only one thing he could do. There weren't enough supporting players or teammates that he could lay the ball off. And that cardinal sin as a goalkeeper, never get beat at your near post. Eyestone upholding that rule.
Ruben Masales. Here's Nick Periano. Back for Cameron Acito. And another free kick on the way for Duke. They want to go quickly here. Acito will leave it instead for Kenny Hott.
Joe, you and I haven't really said much about Forshaw Jogo or Bjornsson. They've been kept very quiet, both playing centrally, both really thriving on wide service, but it's been moments like this where as soon as they get into that final third, it's been errant passes and forced turnovers.
It's a Duke team that wants to play on the front foot, press, repress, control the ball, possess it, and build through the lines. Clemson similar, but this Duke team felt they could assert themselves and assert their ball control in this game.
This is Drew Kerr. And that push in the back there for Meinhardt, always going to be called from the referee. It's good recognition from Kerr. Advanced the ball, and as soon as he got half a yard in front of Meinhardt, lets him off the hook with an easy foul. Excuse me, Cameron Kerr.
Plenty of Kerrs to go around in this one. Some contact there, edge of the area, and play on. John Kerr, one of his proudest things as a coach, being able to coach both of his sons this year. Cameron Kerr, Drew Kerr. Imagine at some point we'll see Drew off the bench. It's Cameron this year who really grew into his own as a starter. Past couple of years, first 3 seasons to be exact, at Duke combined, 35 appearances, 1 start. This year, played all 16 games, started 14 of them. So he really just took control of that role on the right wing. And the yellow card shown to Sean Smart, I believe. And that is a little bit too late and maybe the wrong color in the eyes of Duke, who again felt he should have been sent off in the very early going here on a play that went to video review. Seemed pretty clear to us. Referee saw it differently, but now he's in the book anyway, this time with the yellow.
Those two have been going at it, and if he's giving a yellow card for that, I think that's maybe a makeup call from what should have been marching
Fair enough.
From before, because I didn't see anything in that.
It won't make it up in the eyes of the Duke bench until it becomes a second yellow, though. But this is maybe a good time to that point for Mike Noonan to try and settle things down with Sean Smart. Probably should have been sent off already. Now he has a yellow, and you know every time he is near a challenge the rest of the way, Duke will be begging for him to be sent off. Have to be extremely careful now.
And that's why you have a deep team. I'd get him out before half because he's playing with a lot of emotion, which you want to see in a game like this, but he's a player that knows how to play only one way. Great diagonal ball just off the mark. It's aggressive. When you have an aggressive player, you're gambling. You're playing with fire there, and you don't want to get him sent off before half. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see a sub before half to get him calm, get him just refocus on the game and get him disciplined.
Here's Kenny Hott. He was looking at that long ball up the left side for Masales. And now it's back again for Acito. Tino Lopez started every game this season, the senior from Las Vegas. He's been in some U17 camps for the U.S. Seattle Sounders Academy product. Floats it over the top now, but it's too long for Bjornsson. And the college basketball season tips off tomorrow night. We've got you covered with ACC PM in Blacksburg from 3 to 5 Eastern to get you set for the night. And we'll have number 8 Virginia Tech women taking on High Point, followed by a men's doubleheader. Number 19 Tar Heels hosting Radford. Then it's number 2 Duke hosting Dartmouth. We'll wrap up the night with nothing but net in Durham. What a way to tip off the season right here on the ACC Network and the ESPN app.
I took a quick look at the men's basketball rankings, and no surprises, ACC dominant in that top 25. And is that Duke number 2?
Duke number 2. Always seems like it falls that way. And I would imagine we'll get 2 more classic ACC matchups between Duke and UNC. And look, this is again going back to the conversation about getting Sean Smart off the field. He's even being asked by the referee to speed up the play of his throw-ins this early in the game and warned for possible time wasting. Whether it's the fouls, whether it's something as simple as potential time wasting, he is on the referee's radar. He is on Duke's radar, and he needs to be extremely careful. I am still surprised that Mike Noonan has continued to trust him and not just give him a breather here.
It's a lot of trust, and it says a lot about how much responsibility that Coach Noonan's willing to put in Smart's lane, because this is a first half that Duke hasn't troubled much. There hasn't been much for them. Clemson playing well defensively, winning the battle in midfield, being physical, being tenacious, and being good on the counter. But that can all go to waste if you get sent off.
Now it's Meinhard leading the charge, feeds it through as he rolled it out ahead of Gibert. Quarter of an hour remains here in this first half. Pardon me, that was Arthur Duquesne ranging up. Could not get to the end of that through ball. But Dame with the header away as the Jago is barreling in. I think he just misjudged where he was at the edge of the 18. Well, that's a way to use your head.
That's part of modern goalkeeping. Almost become that extra field player. And if you're going to step out of your box, you have to be confident. And Dame lacking very little confidence on that play.
Goals against average, sub-1, back-to-back years in net for Clemson now. Lundegaard, nice move past Bjornsson. Slots it through for Silla. It was forced away quickly by Lopez.
It's good composure from Lundegaard. That's why he's there. One of the leaders of the back line and leaders of this team, captain. When you have a back three, one of your 3 center backs has to have the confidence to be able to drive forward and step into midfield and commit the opposing line of confrontation for Duke.
Took a deflection. It's out for a corner. Meinhard seemed to suggest it might have been a handball, but no indication of that from the referees. Third corner now for Usman Silla and the Clemson Tigers. This one went out before it came in. And with that, we'll take a quick look at the bracket here in the ACC Championships. The winner of this game will go on to meet either Louisville or Notre Dame. And we know what one semi looks like. It's Syracuse and North Carolina.
Wouldn't have thought that those 2 teams would be there, especially with how Wake Forest and Virginia were ending the season. They have great home records, but it's the character of those 2 sides and the resilience that showed in the final whistle. Carolina, though, shock result, could be the biggest result of the night, depending on what happens in that Notre Dame-Louisville match.
Some words between John Kerr and Kenny Hott, who just subbed off for Bull Jorgensen. Here's Drew Kerr, who just came on for his brother Cameron Kerr. Full name, Nikolai Ronaldo Bull Jorgensen. Just goes by Bull Jorgensen. See what he could produce. Now, leading the line for Duke. This year, 3 assists as a freshman. In 15 appearances, just 4 starts.
You see a name Ronaldo there. I wonder which one, the original, the one that plays in Saudi Arabia.
Well, if he's named after the better goal scorer Ronaldo, it's the original one.
Yeah.
See if that stirs some pots for any watch parties around the world.
Hey, keep your phone off. Your mentions are going to be through the roof.
Meinhard for Silla. Had a memorable hat trick on senior night just a few weeks back. Usman Silla, first hat trick of his career. Gave him 7 goals, 7 assists on the season.
Usman Silla is going to attract a lot of attention, and Jorgensen clips his ankle, and Silla, a very experienced player, knows when to go down.
Mike Noonan has just been so pleased with his progression, not only as a player, but as a person and his time here at Clemson. We were chatting ahead of that senior night game. Coach Noonan mentioned that when he first came in, he had to acclimate to life in the U.S. and to school. And not that it was something that wasn't on his radar or he wasn't good at it. He just wasn't used to the school aspect of things. So he came in and he was maybe a subpar student. He came in and he wasn't quite ready to be that guy for Clemson. And after some time, he, of course, became an all-conference player for Clemson. But more importantly than that, and what stood out to Mike Noonan, is he became an all-ACC academic honor roll player for Clemson. So in every aspect of his career at Clemson and his life at Clemson, a leader on and off the field as well, he has grown so much in his time here with the Tigers.
That speaks to the program that Mike Noonan's invested in building. He's truly invested in creating special human beings, good human beings, not just quality soccer players. And I think that's why this Clemson program has sustained the success they've had in the last decade.
Change being ready now. Remy Okunlola sent to the halfway line. It's pulled through nicely by Amir Daly. Almost found a Jago who hasn't really seen much of the ball at his feet so far in this game. That could change, though. Slapped away, pinballs around, and there he is! Right on cue, Forrester and Jago ties the score! We see the bear in action again. 14 times this year, we've seen that celebration.
And for Duke, this goal comes against the run of play. Much of this first half has all been Clemson. But this is what makes the Atlantic Coast Conference so special, that there's quality in every team you play, and it's usually up front. Keep an eye on Joseph Ndema. That dive, the decision to go dive for it, it spills the beans, tees it up for Forrester Jago, and he's not going to miss from there. That ball ricocheting off his chest, using those long legs of his to poke that home, and you see the smile on his face. Duke back into this match.
Transfer from Dayton. Prior to that, Udell. 1 year at Udell, 2 years at Dayton. Comes to Duke this year. In his 2 seasons at Dayton, had 13 goals, 4 assists. This year, in 1 regular season, 13 goals, 4 assists. John Kerr saw what he could become in this system, knew that with his traits he fit so well. And again, maybe not somebody who a lot of people thought would come in and have this type of success in the ACC after he enjoyed some success in the Atlantic 10, 7 goals last season. But this is still a major step up conference-wise. But John Kerr saw it. He saw the fit, and he knew that this could be an explosive combination here for Duke, and it has been. Now 14 goals this year.
And that's now 5 goals against ACC teams of those 14. So he has the pedigree coming into this. The one thing that I love about watching this player, and we highlighted him at the top of the show, the ruthlessness. That is ruthless finishing. He doesn't need many chances. When he gets one, he pounces on it, and right there, Ndema goes for the punch, misses the punch, ricochets off of him, and he's there to pounce on the rebound.
chance for Clemson to get it back before halftime on the free kick. Silla for the backside of the 6. Oh, we mentioned it when Clemson scored, that they have that 139, 11, and 11 record under Mike Noonan when scoring first. Here's Jafamba, snuck through. But that record would be tested here because not often probably in there had they gone against the #1 scoring offense in the country. Knew they would need more, and if they're going to win, they're going to need at least one more.
Clemson keeping this ball alive, and Jafamba gets the angles a bit wrong. Makes quality contact. The accuracy is lacking.
Remy Okunlola, by the way, came on for Tyler Trimnell, the goal scorer for Clemson. .36-minute, Ajago equalizes after Trimnell put Clemson up in the 11th minute. There's been this little battle going between the coaching staffs and the benches in this game of having the throw-in taken exactly where it went out. And that just gives you a glimpse at the intensity of this game, Michael, because how often do we see it in the game around the world? You take your 5 or 10 extra yards, and it's no problem. But both benches watching the opposition like hawks and making sure the throws have come from exactly where they need to be.
It's the attention to detail. It's the competitiveness, and that's why these teams are 4 versus 5. It's what you want to see in 2 high-octane teams, 2 high-octane offenses. And these coaches, they have a way about them of providing the winning combination, putting their teams out there, their mentalities. That's why they have 2 class programs.
Six minutes to go here in this first half. What a women's volleyball match we have for you coming up at the end of this week. Friday night, number 10 Georgia Tech hosting number 6 Pitt at O'Keefe Gym. Coverage beginning at 5 Eastern. It's that time of year, Michael. Everything at once. You've got soccer tournament going on. You've got football coming to the home stretch. Basketball tips off tomorrow. Volleyball coming up on the end here. Did I miss anything? Field hockey just had its championships. ACC women's soccer tournament just wrapped up today.
So you're telling me a lot of couch time this weekend, because that's stuff I'm dialed in for.
Oh, yeah, plenty of couch time and no reason to change your dial from the ACC network. Just leave it on. Make sure your TV doesn't fall asleep. If you've got that timer on for inactivity, just freshen up, hit the remote button every once in a while. Just what I do to make sure it doesn't fall asleep, sometimes I'll go volume up by 1 and down by 1 just to let the remote and the TV know I'm still there, but without changing anything, just keep it locked in all day long. Now under 5 to play in this first half. End-to-end action we've seen and we expected with these 2 offenses.
Since that goal, Duke has started to settle down, and there's renewed life in this Duke side, and goals tend to do that to you. Before the goal going in, Clemson being physical, but Duke matching them physically in the middle of the park. And right on cue, a foul going their way. Jorgensen enjoying that one.
Meinhardt, a stern talking to from the referee. Fouls are 8-3 right now, with Clemson being the 8. Hit the Jago in the back of his left leg as he turned and tried to work around Potmar Boy.
For Duke, that's going to be the matchup they want to exploit. Is it Jago versus Boy? I think Boy has been tasked to just watch him like a hawk, follow him all over. Jago, he wants to drift in different channels, ultimately ending with him centrally to cash in on services from the Blue Devils. But whoever wins that 1v1, that's going to have a big say on the final score of this game.
Amir Daly. Oh, for Bjornsson, trying to create some space, and he does well to earn the corner.
Sets up an interesting opportunity for Duke. You've been pegged back early on. You get yourself back into the half. Now you have quality service from your left fullback, Ruben Masalis.
Two and a half to play in this first half. The in-swinger to the back post sails over everybody, and it's out for a goal kick. For as much action as we've seen back and forth in this half, only 6 combined shots, 3 of those on target, but it's felt like there have been moment after moment as far as goal-scoring opportunities.
Both teams have sustained the energy from the first whistle, and I think for Duke, they'll be highly motivated by the loss that they had earlier in the season, and I think you see the energy, Clemson being the fresher side coming out. They land the first punch, but Duke, when you're that team that plays a first-round match, you have that recency, your muscles, the muscle memory of how to compete in games, and I think that's what gets him back into the game.
Two to play in the first half, and the physical play continues. This time it's Chifamba who commits the infraction. Both these teams had ample opportunity in the regular season against some top-ranked opponents. 5 games for Duke against teams currently ranked. They went 2 wins, 3 losses. And on the other side for Clemson, also 5 games against teams currently ranked. They went 1-3-1. Quick throw from Smart to spark this attack, looking for Silla. And that's just good alert play right there from Clemson. They saw they had the numbers, throw was taken quickly, and that throw becomes a corner with 1:15 to go.
Clemson wants to keep the pace of this match high. They've done so from the start of the game. They recognized that they could sneak one in before the halftime whistle. And Tino Lopez, not on his watch though, the positioning on the money.
Final minute of play in the first half here at historic Riggs Field. The 4th corner from Silla. That's no trouble. Driven ball in from Duquesne. Everybody looking around for it. Finally, Amir Daly finds it. Something to note as well as we continue on into halftime here. 1 sub was made by Clemson, 2 subs were made by Duke. 2 very deep teams, but maybe not so inclined to sub a whole lot in this one, Michael. Just running with their best in obviously a must-win game, trying to get to the semifinal of the ACC tournament. That's when some subs maybe go out the window and you just ride with your best guys.
These are 2 fit sides, and they're going to go toe-to-toe and down to the wire. I think you'll see more subs in the second half.
6 seconds to go. Don't think they're going to have enough time to take the corner, so that'll do it. 1-1 at the break between Clemson and Duke in a very hectic end-to-end affair, Michael.
Clemson started the better of the 2 sides, getting that first goal, but credit to Duke for getting a goal against the runner play. Both sides getting their key players involved in goals.
Well, these fans were treated to a very fast start. 11 minutes in, the goal was scored by Tyler Trimnell. Coach at Joe Malfa, Michael LaHood up in the booth. You get Trimnell in the starting 11. Only made 1 start in the regular season, but he scored against Duke in the regular season, does it again here. How about that button you pushed?
Yeah, I didn't push it. He did it himself. So, no, very happy for Tyler. And, I thought it was a really good, even first half. So, got to regroup and come back out in the second half and play similar with the same type of intensity and the same type of desire to win the game.
Coach, Ousmane Silla gets another assist, another goal contribution. What did you like that you saw from him in that first half?
Well, I mean, he's very good on the ball. The issue is he's dropping a little bit too deep, and we need to keep him, when we have possession of the ball, we got to keep him higher into the game, and he's dropping a little bit too deep to try and create the game, and we need him to create it a little closer to the goal.
Coach, you had that review there with Sean Smart, stays on the field, but then the play continued to stay hot. He picked up a yellow, more talking to from the referee. Do you have kind of a monitor on him to make sure things don't cross any line now into the second half?
No, Sean's a smart player, and he'll deal with it. I mean, he's playing on the yellow. He plays the last 20, 25 minutes of the yellow card, so, it's one of those things.
Coach, thanks for your time. You joked that this would be 0-0 given the high-powered offenses, so it's at least not 0-0, but there you go. Good luck in the second half.
Thanks, guys.
That's Mike Noonan, head coach of Clemson. He joked with us that it would be 0-0.
It's my dog Chase Lounger. Foot treadmill. That's my Tuesday chalice. Purse that says purse. Hyperbaric oxygen therapy chamber. I can't live without oxygen. Solid gold coffee machine. Lake making kit.
Really?
Can Progressive cover that too?
Yes, but...
Hi, it's Janice. I'll take 5. Is my voice on TV right now?
The middle child never knows the beauty of elbow room. Until now, the 3-row Lexus TX.
Your first home sees a lot of firsts. From first loves to first steps. Sure, it can be a handful at times, keeping you up at night.
Come on now.
But with help from the Home Depot,
Thank you very much.
you'll find the confidence to create the first place you call your own. The Home Depot, how doers get more done.
Heck of a first half between Duke and Clemson. End-to-end action here in our third quarterfinal of the day. It's 1-1 through 45. We expect just the same in the second half and possibly more beyond that. But before we get into the rest of our quarterfinal, we take a look back at the first 2 quarters of the day, beginning with the 1-1 Cuse-Virginia draw that turned into Cuse getting through on penalties.
And it would be Leo Alfonso coming off the bench and getting involved into a goal. This comes against the runner play for Virginia. Alfonso, a familiar player scoring goals against Syracuse. Keep an eye on the gamble. He takes their good quality first touch, but reacts quickest from the spill in front of Syracuse's goal. Virginia think that they have good things going, but back would come Cuse. This would be Mateo Levesque getting that good first touch, splits parts like the Red Sea, has the game going in extra time and penalties. Lorenzo Pacelli, him peeling off, good 1-2 in and around the box, and then Levesque does the rest.
And then we would go to penalties, where these teams went in the semifinal in 2022. Cuse got through, went on to win the ACC tournament, went on to win the national title. And this went back and forth for a while until Motiam hit the post and it opened the door for Cuse to put it away.
It'll be Daniel Diaz-Bonilla who has the winning touch. Heck of a penalty. He sends Syracuse through to the next round.
And in the other match, only 1 goal to speak of. Ahmad Alcock, his first goal of the year. A stunner that it was. It would hold up the rest of the way for the Tar Heels.
Well, you want to make your name into the headlights. You score goals like this. This is an absolute golazo. Keep an eye on how he swivels his hips. He takes a good drop of the shoulder, splits defenders, and that is sweetly struck. That is a goal of the highest order.
And look at where it came again with 29:06 to go in the first half to go the rest of the way and keep the clean sheet against second seed Wake Forest. Heck of a job by North Carolina. And that leaves 1 quarterfinal remaining after hours here between Duke and Clemson. And that is Louisville-Notre Dame. Notre Dame, the top team in this country in RPI, the second team in the coaches poll, and the top team in the ACC.
Louisville will be feeling confident after the win against Pitt, but Notre Dame, they're a complete team. Playing at home, they look to be a force to be reckoned with. Going to be a tall task and a tall order for the Cardinals.
You know, Louisville in the ACC Men's Soccer Championship, and this one making an early bid for game of the day. So much action end to end in the first 45 minutes between Duke and Clemson here at historic Riggs Field. Happy to have you with us tonight on the ACC Network with the MLS veteran and 2007 national champion at Wake Forest, Michael Lahoud. I'm Joe Malfa. Hey, sometimes it just lives up to the billing. This has been everything we expected it to be between 2 of the top offenses in the country. All I'm saying is sign me and the neutrals up for more of that in the second half.
It's the type of game that makes me wish I could go back in time and be on the field with these players. I love the intensity. I love the competition. And I love the fact that both of these teams, they're going for it. They're not resting on their laurels. They really want to win this match.
Sometimes our people have some trouble putting together the highlights if it was a slow first half. There was some trouble putting together the highlights for this first half because there was so many moments to choose from. But we'll kind of boil it down here to the biggest of those moments, and it was Tyler Trimnell 11 minutes in getting Clemson on the board.
He gets the feed from Ousmane Silla. Look at the weight of the pass. It tees up the first time finish from Trimnell, the man with the hot hand on display again.
And from there, that's where things started to get a little heated between the teams. There was a shout for a send-off on one end for Clemson and Sean Smart, but then in the later moments of the half, Forster Ajago, after really being silent for much of the half, found a way through for his 14th of the year.
All it takes is one to cue up the Bear celebration, and right on cue, Joe, you had said, where is Forster? There he is, bundling in a goal. They all count the same.
This is the moment I was alluding to here. Sean Smart, watch his right hand. Not there. That's where the contact started, but right here. Just whipped it around, hit Kenny Hott in the face. They went to review and deemed that there was a swipe, but they said no intent, so no red card, and he stays on the field.
And he gets a yellow card for this. I think this is a makeup call. He will be breathing a sigh of relief. Head coach Mike Noonan will be breathing the biggest sigh of relief, because that should have been a sending off.
And then he was on the referee's radar again for some time wasting, taking a while to get the throw into play for a couple of times in a row. This one finally got the ref to chime in. He is right now on very, very thin ice as this game goes along. Keep that in the back of your mind into the second half. Stats pretty even. The one thing that does stand out, 9 fouls from Clemson. Very physical first half. They were giving Duke all they could handle.
That's their way to disrupt Duke, and that's how they dislodge possession for the first goal. Duke, though, growing back in. You make a couple subs, you bring in Jorgensen, you get back in the game. Immediate impact off the bench for the Dukies.
Teams met a year ago tomorrow here in the ACC tournament. A 2-0 win for Clemson. Can Duke get its revenge? The second half is on the way. The ACC Men's Soccer Championship is brought to you by Chili's 3 for Me, the best $10.99 you can eat. And welcome back into historic Riggs Field with Coach John Kerr, the Duke Blue Devils. It's Joe Malfa and Michael Lahoud up in the booth. Coach, going down early on the road in this venue, that has gotten some teams throughout the years in hot water, but not you guys. You responded well and found the equalizing goal. What worked for you the rest of that second half after conceding early? Pardon me, the rest of that first half?
Well, just making better decisions on the ball and possession. We were a little bit hectic in the first part of the first half and giving the ball away too easy, but they make it difficult for you because they press so well. And, you know, we found ourselves getting better into the game in the second part of the first half, and hopefully we can create a few more chances.
Coach, Forster Ajago gets another goal in a big game. What do you want to see more from him in this second half? Because he's a big player.
Yeah, just holding the ball up for us and connecting with the midfielders and then looking in behind again. And he's also, you know, great at running in the box when the crosses are coming in. He's brave, he's agile, and he's, you know, he wants to score goals. So that's a good thing for us.
Coach, thanks for your time. Best of luck at half number 2.
Thank you.
That's John Kerr, Duke head coach, seeing if he can guide this team to a road victory here over Clemson in the quarterfinal. I wouldn't necessarily call it an upset, Michael. In terms of the rankings, you've got a Duke team that's actually ranked inside the top 10 and a Clemson team that comes in at number 14 in the coaches poll. But based on the seedings, it would be an upset. Duke the 5 seed, Clemson the 4 seed, and we are underway now in half number 2 of the third quarterfinal of the day. Already, it's Syracuse and North Carolina in one semifinal. It'll be one of those two teams here meeting either Louisville or Notre Dame in the other semifinal. And we will unravel all those answers over the next couple of hours. That game kicking off at 8:45 to go, maybe more in store here at historic Riggs Field.
Just out of the gate, Sean Smart gets another foul, something to watch, already on the yellow. Sets up a dangerous set-piece opportunity for Duke.
And remember, there's already been a couple of moments for Ndema where he has maybe misjudged it coming off his line. That's what led to the goal by Ajago. Periano whips it in and calmly headed away by Gibert, diving down. Masalis back for Periano. Almost slipped it through for Masalis. And another free kick for Duke. Already seeing a spillover from that first half. Mentioned that it was 9 fouls from Clemson to just 3 for Duke. They didn't even get through 90 seconds before 2 more fouls now in the second half.
This is a different side of Duke that we saw late in the first half. they looked like they were getting bullied in midfield early on, and that's what led to the first goal. But good response. I'm glad to see Bull Jorgensen still on the field. His presence was part of the turnaround.
Back-to-back free kicks to begin this half for Periano, where he could not get it by the first man. And this one goes Clemson's way. Pleading for a card is Usman Silla.
Alton Chimfamba using his body. He's a natural ball winner. And that's never going to be a yellow card, but that puts Nick Ferriano on the referee's watch list.
Silla. Works it to the end line. And nearly earned a corner, but Amir Daly, good quick feet to keep that ball in. Free kick again for Duke. Right after Meinhardt thought he had turned the corner. Would have been in some space for a good opportunity. That's Duquesne, rather.
So for Duquesne and the swim move, we saw that earlier in the day. A lot of players grappling, grabbing shirts, trying to do this swim move. And then that shocked look as if pleading their innocence.
It's picked up by Cameron Kerr. Interesting if there's more of a direct play from Duke in this second half. Michael, there were moments in the first half where we started to see it. They were just trying to play it in to Bjornsson or Ajago, and the goal sort of came on a moment like that. See if they go to it more. A team that traditionally likes to possess, build to the lines, but sometimes if the moment calls for it, maybe you do change things up. Now it's Silla trying to find a way through the back line of Duke before it's cleared.
If you're going to play direct, you have to have strikers and players up top who can hold it up. Popmore Bar, that matchup between he and Ajago, up until the goal, Boy was winning that. After the goal, it was Duke that started winning it up top.
There's a shout for a penalty there from Clemson, but it was half-hearted at best, and now Meinhardt continues the theme, like you mentioned, of committing what we thought was a pretty clear foul, but turning around and flashing that innocent look at the referee, hoping there was no whistle.
The second time we've seen Albert Duquesne, another no call. Duquesne, an aggressive fullback who wants to get involved in the attack, will provide width on that left-hand side for Clemson.
Five minutes gone so far in this second half, and the intensity picked up right where it left off at the end of half number one. Masalis. It's kept in by Acito, but given away, and now he's pulled out of position. Sean Smart exploiting that space, but too much on it. And off target in his effort to find Silla. Comes right back to him, though. Smart lays it off. Gibay.
Wrong. He makes the wrong decision, Joe. He's breaking there. Usman Silla peeling away, trying to attract the attention of the nearest center back. He has Alex Meinhardt wide open. If you hit the diagonal, if you even make a bending cross in front of Usman Silla, Meinhardt's in 1v1.
And before anybody could be in this time, the offside flag comes up on Clemson. This is where Duke excels. Mentioned the terrific goal-scoring year they've had overall, 2.88, leading the nation per game. 34 of their 46 goals this year have come in the second half. Staggering number for this team. So to get that goal before the break to even things up, now it's in the second half where they've been at their best all year long. On paper, that bodes well for Duke, but every game its own different little entity, and this one a difficult one on the road against Clemson in the tournament.
The ref is letting
stop now. Yep,
play go.
Seemed like he was going to try to just let this one go until you saw player get to his feet, that being Bull Jorgensen, but he stayed down.
The referee letting a lot of physical play go. Keep an eye on that elbow there. That is a foul. Whether it's the elbow, maybe inadvertent contact, but grabbing Jorgensen from behind. Surprised he didn't call that, but also surprised that there are 11 men on the field.
Fair enough. And going back again to the first half, when Sean Smart, we thought for sure, was heading off. There's no foul that's going to come of that, but just, again, more physical play. That little nudge at the end. These two teams are after each other, and you mentioned it, Michael, after that non-send-off early in the game, that it could feed into a more intense physical game as it would wear on. That has completely been ringing true since then.
Those little challenges, those little pushes in the back, they all add up, and it's going to be the side who keeps their cool, who keeps their nerve the most. Clemson, they set out their stall, and here we go.
Wayne Frederick lines it up, took a deflection, and out for a corner.
They've set out their stall to be disruptive by being physical. Duke, they're growing into the game by bypassing midfield, not getting baited into Clemson's pressing trap, playing out of the back. As soon as Clemson, they send one or two strikers or attackers in, they're going long. Ajago doing much better job of holding up the ball, and now their second ball plays that Duke is doing incredibly well to win. Wayne Frederick is doing much better in winning the second ball and then getting the goal.
Ruben Masalis now set for the in-swinger. We'll reposition it. Junior from Florida. ACC all-freshman team back in 2021. Had 4 goals, 4 assists this year. Drives this one in near post. It's an own goal! Duke pulls ahead on a bit of fortune off a dangerous ball by Masalis.
Duke has been patient, and the patience finally coming through on their behalf. As I said, they can beat you in open play. They can combine in around the goal. They got a fortunate goal the first time. They get another fortunate goal the second time. And that looks to be the goal scorer, Tyler Trimnell, number 17 for Clemson. Wrong goal, and it's just one of those nights. I wonder if there's a full moon on display tonight, because you can't make that up. Trimnell ducks his head, but it's quality set-piece delivery from Masalis that forces that errant play from Trimnell.
You could see on that last angle we showed, the close-up, where he was trying to just head it over the bar, and it might have even kissed the underside of the bar on its way in. The look on his face, the moment of realization, you could just tell. And it goes back to what I said at the beginning of this half. They've been lethal in the second half of games, Duke. Make it 35 of 47 now, scored in the second half. And they have a lead.
It's been growing into this game and coming out the better side in the second half. Duke, they've settled down. And just as Coach Kerr said to us coming out of the break, is he felt the game started changing in their favor when they started connecting passes, when they started getting their midfield involved.
Now Trimnell wants to get it back for his side. Just a throw. He'll linger on the ground here. Remember, Clemson has only lost 1 game this year when scoring first. They're 7-1-2. They scored first tonight on a goal from Trimnell. Got to go all the way back to the season opener against then unranked, now #1 UCF. The last time and only time they've lost this year when scoring first. That could be in jeopardy here. Potmar Boy. All the way back for Joseph Andema, who was quick to pat and his teammate Trimnell on the back after that own goal. Duquesne, the guilty party. He has to be on the referee's radar now. That's a rising foul tally from Duquesne. I have to imagine the next one might be a persistent infringement yellow for him. He got a stern warning at the end of that from our referee.
He's had at least 2 this half alone, and the frustration's starting to build for the Clemson Tigers. You have the lead, you get 2 unanswered goals from Duke. Now you have to keep your head.
Jago. Periano. Andema has it. Winner of this gets the winner of Louisville Notre Dame. They're meeting in South Bend coming up at the top of the hour. It'll be Alan Cuff, Devin Kerr with you on that call here on the ACC Network. We'll go live out to that game at the conclusion of this one. That one might start, though, on the ESPN app, depending on how long this game goes. And right now, it's another yellow card, this time to Potmar Boy in the rising physical tally. That is the 15th foul by Clemson in this match.
Boy could have had one for the elbow earlier on Jorgensen, and that one there, clumsy. Jago's not even going towards goal. He's going away towards the sideline, and that's impatience. And that's a buildup of persistent infringements, persistent fouling. And the referee was always going to give a yellow card to someone. It was next man up. It just happened to be Boy.
Gonzalez created the own goal. Last time he was on a set piece. This one time it's blocked. Back in by Daly. Flag comes up. In an offside position, Antino Lopez. I'm gonna go quickly here, Sean Smart. Gave it away in doing so. Another free kick on the way for Duke, and the college basketball season tips off tomorrow. We've got you covered with ACC PM in Blacksburg from 3 to 5 Eastern to get you set for the night. Then it's number 8 Virginia Tech taking on High Point, followed by a men's doubleheader. Number 19 Tar Heels hosting Radford, number 2 Duke hosting Dartmouth, and we'll wrap up the night with the Nothing But Net crew in Durham. What a way to tip off the season right here on the ACC Network and the ESPN app.
That was savvy for number 10, Nick Periano for Duke. He senses the urgency from Clemson. And Sean Smart takes the quick throw in. Periano, his head's on a swivel. He reads it, and then is smart to feel that contact, wait for that contact to go down for the foul.
Squared back to Periano. Good cutback ball. Now it's toward Jago and headed away by Gibert. Responsilla wants to go. He's taken down. That'll be a surefire yellow here to Kenny Hott.
Well, it's definitely getting hot. Duke dishing out Clemson their own medicine. This is a tactical foul because Responsilla, one of the best parts of his game is picking the ball in the middle of the park, picking it up, and moving forward in transition.
Played through for Trimnell. Can he save it? No. Out for a goal kick. And here comes a change from Duke as head coach John Kerr sends Drew Kerr for Cameron Kerr. All the family on this sub here for Duke.
Drew Kerr coming on. He's a different player than his brother. It's good 1v1. Wants to be aggressive, go direct. He's a very direct wing back.
actually hasn't been an official shot registered in this second half, despite the goal by Duke, as it came on that corner and the own goal. 15 minutes now into this half. Score changed, shot totals haven't.
It's been down to the fact that the clock has had to stop. The clock has been ticking, but it's been a very physical half, Joe. And when fouls are being called, it slows the game down. You're not getting the goal as quickly as you normally would when the possession is free-flowing.
Clock moving, ball isn't, but maybe that changes here. Dancing through, trip, no! Just put it wide.
Free slowing down play. Tyler Trimnell looking to make amends for the own goal. And as soon as he shifts that ball, evading the defender, so close to getting this on the inside of the post. Just wide.
Hole for Bjornsson. Comes back on, and this time he'll spell Nick Periano. Bjornsson giving chase, pressuring Adam Lundegaard. There's the fresh legs of Bjornsson having an impact. And he commits a foul back behind the plate.
Sometimes as a sub, you come in and you want to get that feeling, that sensation of being in the game again. And yeah, that's probably the fourth or fifth time we've seen attackers or defenders nudge someone in the back.
Jorgensen. Well won, and it had to be by Chifamba. Julian Eystone sends it long. He hasn't had a ton of work to do in this game. Ajago. Forster Ajago lays it off. Floated all the way across. Not sure that's what they had in mind there, but a brilliant touch to keep it alive by Masales. Working to the end line. Masales deflected, and it's out for a corner. Almost the beneficiary of 2 own goals after that delivery, but not quite.
And that's when you'd know it would be your night. This is cheeky work from Masales. Gets the flick over the shoulder, and he's aiming to swing that across the face of the goal on the ground. Deflection. Chimfamba sets up the corner kick. And for Duke, you have to be teaming with confidence right now. That first 20 minutes, 25 minutes of the half, you weren't at your best. But then in the blink of an eye, you find yourself up by 2-1.
28-27 to go. Another corner on the way. Masales delivers, drops it in, center of the 6, well done, but Pat Marboy is there to clear. They've been spending a lot of time working on set pieces. They realized early in the year that they were earning a lot of free kicks and corners, so they started spending extra time on those set pieces, and it's paid dividends here. Again, as the leading scoring team in the nation on a per-game basis.
It's good thinking for Duke because they have 2 quality set-piece takers, 2 of the best in the ACC, the likes of Nick Periano, the likes of Ruben Masales, and you're almost spoiled for riches where you can play in-swingers, you can play out-swingers, you can mix it up and get creative.
This is where you get to that time of the match where Duke, yes, they'd like the insurance, but everything's got to be forward, everything's got to be away from goal. You're defending a lead. Can you bunker in? Can you win it? Okunlola will spell Duquesne. They're up because of that own goal, Duke. After going behind 11 minutes in. And at this venue, with this crowd, Michael, how many teams have we seen concede early to Clemson and then just get sucked into their vortex from there and have it spiral out of control? Not this Duke team, not tonight. Now they're up by 1 and looking to hold on the rest of the way.
We'll go back to a big win that they had, probably their biggest win of the season, not by goals, but because they showed character to come back. It was against Syracuse. They won 5-3, but they went down a goal, an early goal to Syracuse, and then come back and rattle off 3 goals to make it 3-1. There's goals in bunches with this Duke side. Once they get one, they're a completely different team, and they score them in bunches.
And we've got a women's volleyball match to show you guys on Friday, a big one. Number 10, Georgia Tech hosting number 6, Pitt at O'Keefe Gym. Coverage begins at 5 Eastern. Good bit of 1v1 defending by Amir Daly. Still battling along that sideline. And substitutions on the way. Mason Jimenez will get his first look. Elton Chifamba is off for a few moments at least. Another foul, another yellow card. Lundegaard, the guilty party this time.
Just getting chippier and chippier. Just makes you wonder when the boiling point's going to be. The more Clemson players that get on yellows, especially the defenders, there has to be a tipping point, and I think it's coming soon.
Lundegaard, Pop Marboy, Sean Smart. You've got 3 of the 5 on the back line on yellows right now for Clemson, and you've got Duquesne on a final warning for persistent infringement. He'll be maybe the next one shown a yellow. Basales. Floated in. Bjornsson tracking it down. Offside.
Much better from Bjornsson. Prior to that, one of the only impacts he had was the foul coming in on Boy. He's a willing runner, relentless. Look how much ground he's covering to track back. Runs almost 60 yards to get back for his team. Really a team player for Duke.
Bjornsson again. This time working on Boy, who's on a yellow and has to be careful. And Dema. 25 minutes for Clemson to find an equalizer. Otherwise, we will be 3 for 3 in road teams winning today in the ACC quarterfinals. Syracuse over Virginia in penalties in Charlottesville. UNC 1-0 at Sprite over Wake Forest. Right now, Duke 2-1 here at historic Riggs Field. Whistle negates this attack. Offside flag comes up on Trimnell.
Of all the players for Clemson that looks most likely, it's Tyler Trimnell. He had the shot that just missed the far post. And now he's pushing the envelope again. Popping up in all these different pockets of spaces. He can check low, he can turn in half spaces, drive at you, beat you 1v1. And now he's trying to make those vertical runs. Just the timing was off.
Take a look at the bracket right now, where it sits. Again, those couple of upsets that we've already seen. It's Syracuse through, it's North Carolina through. One semifinal is already established. Will it be Duke? Will it be Louisville or Notre Dame? We'll find out if it's Duke or Clemson over the next half hour or so. We'll find out if it's Louisville or Notre Dame over the next 2.5 hours or so. Got at least 22 minutes remaining in this game. And you've got Louisville and Notre Dame set to kick off at the top of the hour at 8 p.m. So it's looking like that game will be kicking off on the ESPN app. For anybody who's tuning in, looking for that game, we encourage you to stick with us for what's been a thrilling game here. But if that's the one you're looking for, it'll probably begin on the app come 8 p.m. and then we'll take it live here on the ACC network for you all.
You can hear the crowd growing restless. The screams and shouts have come on. They're not used to this, not used to seeing their Clemson Tigers down a goal. And you brought up those great stats. You brought up the rarity of when this happens. And now is not the time for it to happen again.
139, 11, and 11 under Mike Noonan when scoring first. Over 86% of the time when they score first under his guidance, now in 14 seasons, they win. This seems, for now, like it's trending toward being in that 14%. And out for a goal kick.
Duke matching the intensity of Clemson, matching the intensity of this stadium by doing just those little things, those small details of defending, moving your feet. Amir Daly, I think he's been excellent on the day. Those 1v1 defending moments, so important if you're going to grind out this result.
Mohamed Say sees action for the first time today. Meinhard comes off.
For the Tigers, Mohamed Say's a player they've missed so much throughout the season. Started the season very well, scoring goals, but needs to stay healthy. Can he have that clinical moment that Clemson's been waiting for?
And Dama keeps that one out to make sure it's still just a one-goal deficit. Effort applauded by the Clemson crowd, but it's going the way of Duke here on the throw. Sub coming first. Periano will return. Jago is the one to take a breather.
The Jago coming off. Look for Periano to drop in as a second center forward.
Slipped into Bjornsson. The header by Periano's off the bar. Rebound saved. Oh, what a stop by Andema denying Bjornsson.
Incredible goalkeeping from Joseph Ndema for Clemson. That could very well save this match right here.
And at the other end, a free kick now for Clemson. Or not. It's going to go, I believe, against Mohamed Say.
Ndema, you could say he was at fault for the first goal for Duke. The errant dive, but way to make up for it. Not once, but twice. Keep an eye on this. That glancing touch that he gets, he ricochets it off the bar. But then the second one, even better. Periano there, he thinks he's got himself a goal, but he gets a paw to it. But this right there, the athleticism, the reflexes it takes to make the double save, incredible.
Remember that if Clemson ties it up. Over the top again in the area of Kerr. Say, Silla, Duquesne finding Silla, runs a little bit too far away from him. It's out for a throw. And now a late whistle to stop it for a potential head injury, the referee indicating here. He saw Antino Lopez hit the ground awkwardly, so he stops it. It'll be a throw still for Clemson out of this.
I think that's the legs of Usman Silla catching the head of Lopez. This is correct procedure from the referee to allow time for Lopez to collect his bearings and make sure he's okay, the medical staff to check in on him. Lopez has put out some potential big fires for Duke in this second half.
Back out on the field, Lopez. Silla wins a corner.
This corner kick, Joe, keep an eye on number 9, Mohamed Say. These are the moments that he flourishes in. His height, his size, then his timing in the air.
Silla, delivery. Still alive, and now into the hands of Eystone, who really still hasn't had much to do. Just one save. He's only faced 2 shots on target, the other being Trimnell's goal back in the 11th minute.
That's what John Kerr wants. That's the way he wants it drawn up. Smart play from Eystone. Any second you can take off this clock, a routine save, but any second you can take by dropping down, falling on the ball, letting the clock bleed just a little bit, those 5, 6, 7, 8 seconds, they all add up. It gives your team a little bit more time to rest.
Gibert. Potmore boy. Back for Gibert. Over a quarter of an hour remaining, just barely out. Gibet. Okunlola. Good driven ball. The header from Silla. The redirect is in! On the secondary header, Trimnell scores his second of the day to make amends for the own goal. We're level again.
This just has that feeling of a game that was made for this player. Tyler Trimnell, the Duke Blue Devil assassin right now. Hasn't played much throughout this season. Gets the start on the day, and he's making the absolute most of it. When this ball gets whipped in, it falls to Usman Silla. A cushion header gets redirected from Trimnell. When that ball goes, Julian Eystone, he's reading the fly of the ball, assuming that it's going to the far post, but then gets caught flat-footed. The redirection so timely for Clemson, a Clemson side that was waffling in front of goal, but you knew all they needed was just one moment to get back in this game.
4 goals in this game. Michael, you and I knew that it would be an end-to-end affair. We said maybe 4 or 5 total goals. The 4 we've seen split right down the middle. 3 of them technically belonging to Tyler Trimnell, but 1 in his own side to make it 2-2 right now.
I think when he watches back on this game, he'll probably blot out that second goal moment. That won't take away anything from his confidence. That says a lot about the character that he has to still stay in this game. Outside of him, Clemson haven't had that many chances. He's been the sole creator of all their chances in this second half. The maturity you have to be in this position, so much respect for him.
Now it's Clemson with all the momentum in the world. Okunlola Good dive in from Massalas to win it. He wants to push the tempo. All it took was that one shake, that one goal from Clemson to wake this game back up, and the action starting to open up end to end once again.
I think getting the subs in at the right time, Mohamed Say, his presence alone, it gives Duke something else to think about. That's why Ousmane Sylla is able to peel out. So many Duke players have to respect the size, the height, the positioning of Mohamed Say. 3 players go to him, and then Ousmane Sylla peels out the cushion header. It leaves Tyler Trimnell wide open. Strikers, you don't have to score goals to have an impact. You just have to make your presence felt.
Sent long again toward Trimnell, sitting on a hat trick. Well, the last time you and I had a Clemson game, there was a hat trick. It was Ousmane Sylla on senior night. Can Trimnell match it? Headed on by Bjornsson, looking for Wayne Frederick. And Dama plays it out of the back.
If he does, it'll be the greatest night of his life and one of the more memorable nights in Clemson soccer history.
6 career goals for Trimnell. Half of them have come against Duke. Other goals have come against Gardner Webb, UAB, Presbyterian. It's spread out. It's non-conference opponents. It's some minnows in the grand scheme of college soccer. But the other 3, all against these Blue Devils, who will be happy to see him go away after tonight.
Credit to Mike Noonan for not taking him off, for keeping him on. You make a sub, you change that front 3, and it's Alex Meinhardt, who's one of your more consistent goal scorers in the second half of the season, that's waiting in the wings on the sideline. You keep the hot hand going, and it's paying off.
Bounces, falls for Trimnell, but into the arms of Istone as it continued to carry. And what does it say about the player that Trimnell is and Coach Noonan, who was, of course, very coy about it when we talked to him at halftime that, hey, he pushed the right button in Trimnell and it worked out. He was quick to give Trimnell the credit, but he could have turned to anybody else in that role in the absence of Nathan Richmond. Maybe we're not sure how long Mohamed Say can go, so maybe that's not why he started. Jackson Robo you could throw in there. There's other names you could throw out there who could have occupied that position. Maybe a Brandon Parrish, maybe somebody like Isaiah Easley. 13 games, 1 start, 2 goals. Again, all guys with similar numbers, similar performances and production to what we've seen this year from Trimnell. But he goes with Trimnell, and it has paid dividends tonight.
If you look at the goal he scores, the first one, his ability to cover ground. He's committed to defending. As soon as they lose the ball, he's one of the first players in attack back on defense. But it's those long strides. It's that ability to change defense into attack that makes him such a potent weapon. And when you're in a close game like this, when it's 2-2, when players are getting fatigued, his fitness levels, which are through the roof, that could see the moment that gets him a hat trick.
Meinhardt now in for Sylla. Maybe a quick final breather before the final push of this game, before maybe overtime. Long for Bjornsson. They misread it, unable to bring it down. A free kick on the way for Duke. Periano. Tino Lopez. Ruben Massalas lines up from distance. It troubles Endema. A knuckler that dip. Now Periano puts it in front, and it's out for a corner.
Important save from Joseph Endema. This is more difficult than it looks because of how it knuckles, and that strike bounces right in front of him. Look at Massalas. That ball has some swerve to it, but right in the 6, bounces right in front of Ndema. He sees it all the way through, and then his back line. Popmart boy there to clean up the mess.
From the corner, punched away by Ndema. A lot of traffic there at the back post, but he got it away. Amir Daly stumbling. Floated forward. Knocked down by Lola. Comes back for Bjornsson. Lays it off centrally. On the turn, it goes back for Jorgensen, and Bull Jorgensen earns a corner.
Bull Jorgensen may have saved the game right there. Duke putting on a lot of pressure, trying to keep the play alive, but they leave only one player back. If Jorgensen doesn't make the tackle, his decision to step up and keep that play alive, if he misses that, there's 3 Clemson players off to the races with no one in sight.
Driven in swinger, punched away by Ndema. And another corner coming from Massalis, who's already created a goal from a corner on the own goal earlier in this half.
Much better from Ndema, much more convincing. There's been a couple of question marks about his positioning, and that's down to him being undersized as a goalkeeper. Sometimes you cannot be as confident, maybe you're not as confident as some of the more big goalkeepers.
Massalis toward the far post, punched away by Ndema. Might have been going for the Olympico there. Kerr. And this one out for a goal kick.
A bit unorthodox from Ndema. As long as the ball doesn't go in the net, that's what he's there to do. He goes for the punch, where some goalkeepers may choose to collect that, but doing his job in the end.
Chifamba on for Jimenez. Give and go, Say gives it back, wants it back now, and it's out for a corner. Duquesne on the run up the left side.
And Sean Smart switching down that left flank. That's much better from Smart, who's been involved in controversy. As soon as he drops his shoulder, composes himself, and then finds Mohamed Say, and that's what Mohamed Say is there for. His ability, he's a big player. He's got very good feet. His ability to be calm and layoffs, bring teammates in the fold, gives this Clemson side a different edge.
Floated toward the back post. Popmart boy tried to rise for it, still loose. As Meinhardt headed across frame. Just over 5 minutes to play. Overtime looming. Already seen an overtime game today. Went to penalties between Virginia and Syracuse. Set long and a collision between Icestone and Meinhardt that Meinhardt got the worst of.
Good Trimnell. He was on the floor a second ago, and now he's coming back to make up the ground and force Duke to play backwards.
Lopez, pardon me. Acito continues his run. Dangerous back pass there for Daly. And taken by Massalis.
Duke just trying to settle themselves a bit, and they've resorted to just playing direct and having Clemson chase back towards their goal. It's paid off in 2 goals, one coming off a set piece, and the other one coming against the run of play.
4 minutes to go. A sub on the way. And they signaled for it, but they'll hold it off now as Silla is ready to rejoin. Still waiting there with the 4th official. We'll hold off for a moment. Still no substitution made. Also now have Easley up at the halfway line. Told he'll be coming on for Tyler Trimnell, who has 2 goals on one end, 1 on the other. Both of Clemson's goals. It was his own goal that put Duke up 2-1. But he rectified that in the 75th minute with the equalizer. Now under 3 to play, with a spot in the semifinal on the line. Winner of this meets the winner of Louisville Notre Dame, which I believe is kicked off now in South Bend. If you're looking for that, you can find it on the ESPN app. We'll go there live at the end of this game. Might it come here the end of this game? Menacing looking attack for Clemson. It was a 4v3, and it yields a corner.
Amir Daly bails this Duke side out. It was his error, losing possession. Deshaun Smart at midfield. That matchup between the 2 fullbacks, really enticing to watch. Smart had switched sides, now on this left-hand side. And those 2 are going to go toe-to-toe for the remainder of this match.
Silla replaces Say, Easley replaces Trimnell.
Trimnell's had an incredible match. And just in pure soccer fashion, how cruel that would have been for him to score a goal and then score an own goal for that to be the winner.
Fortunately, he bails himself out with another goal on the right side. Silla curls it. It falls for Duquesne. He's battling for it, still loose now in front. Gabe had a swipe at it, shout for handball. They're adamant about it, Clemson. Remember, with the experimental review available, they could go back and look at it if deemed necessary. Out wide for Silla. Another corner coming. Excuse me, that'll be a throw down near the corner flag. Under a minute to play. And they're holding it up here for a moment.
As we see this again, and that ball is there pinballing around, and that is close from that angle there. Oh, Joe, oh man.
Tight as it gets. No indication they're going to look at it. And there's the whistle to get the ball back into play, so they won't go back and look at it. Would have been harsh to give that, but now a corner. We'll stop the clock again here. .44 seconds to play. 9th corner of the night for Clemson. Silla whips it in. The header off target from Trimnell. Pardon me, from Jabert. Quickly taking the goal kick with everybody having been up for Clemson. It's Bjornsson running through with it. All for Bjornsson, under 30 seconds to play. Periano save by Endema. Saving the match for Clemson. Not over yet. 15 seconds. Attack still alive for Duke. Massalas loses it, and that should bring us to overtime.
What an end to this match. End-to-end stuff. Clemson, they thought they had a golden opportunity, but it was the Dukies. They could have stolen it at the death if it not been for Joseph Ndema redeeming himself. Look at the numbers up. Duke, they have 5 players, and it's Bjornsson who gets this ball, uses big body, and then slides into Nick Periano. Right there, he thought he won it. He goes for the power. Doesn't get enough on it. Take nothing away from Ndema. It's just good hold-up play from Bjornsson. Cheeky little pass in, and right there, Ndema, he has to set his feet, and because he does, he's there to make the monster save.
Well, we will take a minute to catch our breath here. You can all do that with us. Overtime on the way to decide this quarterfinal between Clemson and Duke.
This goat done took over our office.
And he's using it to set.
Seriously close to some bedtimes here at historic Riggs Field for this group on the railing. 2-2 as we head to overtime. Happy to have you with us here on the ACC Network. Third quarterfinal of the day. Second to go to overtime. The first being earlier today when Syracuse took down Virginia in penalties. And here's a look at how we arrived at our 2-2 scoreline. It started early. Tyler Trimnell 11 minutes in.
He gets the feed from Usman Sella, the player we highlighted. Trimnell, though, filling that void. Good finish, but back would come the Dukies. And it's Forster Jago, their lead man, their striker, bundles that in. This was back and forth. Duke, they would get the lead with this own goal. Unfortunate header from Trimnell, but Trimnell, he would redeem himself. Keep an eye. Sella again, playing provider. Trimnell looking like the Clemson hero. 2-2.
Clemson own goal. There you go. But again, essentially it's a imperfect hat trick for Tyler Trimnell tonight in your scoring summary, with the Jago getting his 14th of the year. This crowd has been engaged the whole way, and they are ready for some overtime action. Again, anybody who is tuned in here on the ACC Network in search of the final quarterfinal of the evening between Louisville and Notre Dame, you can find that in the app. Again, we hope you stick with us here for what has been a thrilling game. And their record in overtime against Duke Clemson, 4-2-5. We'll take you full to that matchup between Louisville and Notre Dame at the conclusion of our game here. Callan Cuff, Devin Kerr on the call for that one. These two teams met in the regular season. 2-0 win for Clemson. Much different this time around. Two of the 3 highest scoring offenses in the country. Duke, 2.88 goals per game. Clemson, 2.80 goals per game. Number 1 and 3 respectively. And we couldn't decide it in 90, so we'll have to keep that blank for now in the semifinal on November 8th. It'll be Duke or Clemson, we just don't know yet.
There must be something about you and me, Joe. Another overtime game. Bring it on. But there's also something about these road teams. They're not going away without a fight. And we have another matchup with the road team who's putting up a good fight in Duke.
Well, you and I had Louisville Pitt double overtime a few nights ago. We had Syracuse, Virginia penalties earlier today. We have this one now. Well, so if you're not a fan of overtime soccer, you can blame us. If you are a fan of overtime soccer, you can thank us. And we are underway now in the first overtime between Clemson and Duke. It's Clemson right to left in the orange, Duke left to right in the white. We're happy to have you with us here on the ACC Network. With Michael LaHood, I'm Joe Malfa. Just a reminder of the overtime rules for the second year running. 2 10-minute overtimes played in full, whipped into the back post by Bjornsson. It sets up nicely, saved by Ndema, robbing the shot from Massalas.
Thought that was going to be the deciding goal in this match so far. Duke coming out the brighter side again out of the break. And it's getting a fullback up. Massalas has done an excellent job, been involved in everything good, and been involved in 2 of their goals, whether it be from set pieces or in the first goal, getting high and whipping the cross in. That opportunity, and Ndema just making something out of nothing, getting help from Guibert.
Jorgensen. Ajago. Masalis. Back for Jorgensen, blocked. So again, 2 10-minute overtimes played in full. Penalties have still tied. Gone are the days of golden goal in college soccer. Gibay, Sean Smart toward the back post. Silla's header saved by Eystone and out for a corner.
Both goalkeepers called into action to start this first overtime period, and Dema had to make the big save on Masalis. Then Eystone, quality flighted ball in here for Ousmane Sylla. The power's there, but Eystone had that covered. That big frame, those long arms of his. So important for him to use his size and his length to his advantage.
Okunlola gets it in. First overtime is always so intriguing to me, Michael, because you're sort of coming off that high of the hectic end to regulation. You know, again, without golden goal now in college soccer for the second year running, you know it's not an instantaneous victory, so you know you're gearing up for 20 more minutes. It almost always feels like the first overtime, you're catching your breath. Not much usually happens, so that might change here. Look out. Potmar Boy got himself into some trouble by playing it slowly, wins it back cleanly in the eyes of the referee. But it always feels like that second overtime where it's caution of the wind, you're trying to avoid penalties, and the craziness ensues.
That's a 50-50 from Boy. That is weight room action right there, and he has definitely been in the weight room a lot. But I think in the first overtime,
played through toward Trimno looking for his hat trick, and a penalty given. Forget what we just said about no craziness in overtime number 1. They heard us, they answered the bell, and here we go. End to end, right on cue.
I'd love to see this again. And right before that play, what I was going to say is the first overtime is where you make your big gamble. Second overtime is where it's a chess match, and that is a foul. Clumsy foul from Amir Daly. Keep an eye right there. He goes through the back. He's trying to get out of the way, but just the clumsiness of Daly might just gift Clemson a great opportunity to take the lead.
Clemson led at 1-0. Duke came back to go up 2-1. Now Clemson could give us another lead change and make it 3-2, but they will go and look at this one first.
It's a big decision from the referee. Not the first big decision he's had to make in this match.
Periano did pick up a yellow card as well for what was initially given as a foul and a penalty, but that could be overturned. Remember that these referees are looking at the same camera angles we have, not standard across venues. Sometimes the referees have different angles than what we have, but they are looking at exactly what you'll be looking at.
It's Okunlola that plays the ball in on the ground. It's so hard to call. I say he's going to give it as a penalty because Daly does make the clumsy trip. But the only way he's going to call it back and saying no call is because Clemson, their attacker, does keep his feet a split second after the contact is made, the initial contact. There is still contact there. It just depends if he goes by the letter of the law of contact initiated by Daly.
And the penalty has been granted. Meinhardt placed the ball. Tend to think that would have been Usman Silla, and he left the penalty box shaking his head. So it's Meinhardt who takes charge. 6 goals on the season, his first year transferring from Tulsa. Mac Herman watch lists going into last year and this year. And now a chance to put Clemson ahead against Julian Eystone. It's Alex Meinhardt, and it's off the head of Eystone and in. Clemson, for the second time today, has the lead.
He wanted the big moment, and he delivers the big moment for Clemson. That's a gutsy call from Meinhardt to take the ball off your leading goal scorer, your penalty kick taker, but this is the self-belief, the self-confidence that he has. When the game's on the line, when an ACC tournament run is on the line, you have to make it count. And you see the despair for Duke and the absolute ecstasy for the Clemson Tigers. Have a go, have the celebrations. The Tigers in the lead, and it's Tyler Trimnell again, a part of goals. Amir Daly gets the clumsy push in the back. Trimnell knows, Clemson knows. Meinhardt steps up, gets the parried finish. Doesn't matter how it goes in. It's the fact that it does go in. Clemson up 3-2.
Takes a lot of courage. If you're Meinhardt, the transfer in your first year at Clemson, as highly touted as you were, to call off Usman Silla and what he's meant to this program now for 4 seasons. Pays off. It would have been an interesting conversation had it not paid off, but it did in the end. Now it's served back the other way by Duke as they, for the second time, try to battle from behind.
The scary thing for Meinhardt is the person you have to explain yourself to, if you don't cash that in, isn't Usman Silla. That's the least of your worries. You have to face the wrath of your head coach and Mike Noonan, who, when he gives that steely-eyed stare, you don't want to have to explain why and how you missed that when you took it off Silla. But now he gets to explain why he should be taking penalties in high-pressure situations. I love this game.
I'll tell you what, though, the next time that situation arises, Usman Silla might present Exhibit A. Hey, the goalkeeper still touched it, so maybe Silla will use that to his advantage in the next argument to see who takes the next penalty. Sean Smart out of play. Have to give a hat tip to Sean Smart and Mike Noonan. Could have easily pulled him in the first half. Could have easily been out of the game before that decision could have even been made because of the look on video review at his punch to Kenny Hott. But he has stuck with him, and he has cooled down, and he has been a good veteran player back there and not jeopardized his involvement in this game in any way.
That's what good teams are about, though. It's trust between player and coach. And when the player or the coach gives you that trust, you have to reward it by being responsible and being disciplined. Since the second half has started, he's calmed down, and he's for sure found his footing. He's pulled out of challenges. He's kept his head. And I think he's been even more effective playing on this left-hand side instead of the right.
Masalis crossfield for Daly. Amir Daly going for goal, wanting to make amends for his concession of the penalty on the other end, but saved by Ndema.
If he picks his head up, you know, sometimes you're overeager to right the wrongs of the penalty kick. If he picks his head up, he had 2 teammates open on the far post. It's a Duke side that loves to cross the ball. Next time, cross the ball, but I respect the shot.
Plenty of space now for Jorgensen. He picks his head up and surveys the landscape. Early ball in from Jorgensen. Header blocked. Shout for handball. Ajago is the one who immediately looked at the referee and suggested it was blocked with the hand of Okunlola.
Remy Okunlola has played sparing minutes, but in the last 5 minutes, he's contributed probably the most monster minutes of the season. Beautiful ball from Jorgensen. We'll take a look. Nah, never going to be a penalty
Not
there.
even close.
Clean play, but hey, you got to sell it any which way you can. Jago definitely has a degree in sales because that pulled me initially in real time.
It's almost like what's the end goal, though, in the game today? Because even if you sell it initially, they'll just review it and take it away with the video review. But credit for trying. Now the corner, short from Duke. Better angle here, whipped in by Masalis. The header saved by Adema. Rebounds put home. 3-3.
Joe, you talked about how this would be an offensive game. Well, you have your wish. It's another set-piece opportunity going Duke's way. Both strikers scoring. Jago scored the first goal of this match, and it's Bjornsson that gets the tying goal. 3 goals for both sides. The first header there, and Bjornsson on the money. And that's Wayne Frederick elevates up there. Want to see what the altitude is up there from that header. But Bjornsson not going to miss from there, the quickest to react. He's all fired up. This game is all fired up. And you were talking about that first overtime, not seeing goals. Well, we got ourselves some goals.
This game and this matchup, the exception to a lot of rules this year. When you've got 2 of the 3 highest scoring teams on a per game basis, they both eclipse their totals. 2.88 per game for Duke, 2.80 per game for Clemson. They're both at 3, and we're tied for the 4th time today. We were tied at 0s, we were tied at 1s, we were tied at 2s, and now we're tied at 3s. There's your look, the offensive comparison this season. Both these programs top 6 in Division I in those first 3 categories: goals per game, goal differential, points per game. And then just for fun, to show you how they've spread the wealth, 11 goal scorers for Duke, 14 goal scorers for Clemson.
The impressive thing has been the unsung heroes of this match for Clemson. You have Trimnell, who's sitting close to a hat trick. He does force the penalty with a Meinhardt finish. And for Duke, it's been different goal scorers staying true to the tune of the season.
Luke Thomas gives Masalis a break. Bjornsson joins Jago in the double digits. That was his 10th goal of the year. Jago now with 14. So the Bears scored the first goal. The Wolf scored the last goal so far for Duke, with their own goal in between. The only one that's missing is the Bull, Jorgensen. And we've got a full animal stable of goal scoring for Duke today.
Wouldn't that be something?
Still ample time for that to become a reality. It's anybody's guess the way this game will finish after what we've seen now for 98 minutes and 20 seconds. Another minute 40 to go here. Another 10 minutes in the second overtime and penalties if necessary. Silla's corner, a good one. It was lined up by Gabe, still loose in front now, and it fell nearly for Joran Gabe. He was waiting for it before it was cleared.
Cleared by Antino Lopez. He's been all over the place, all over that back line. Has that commanding presence and sense of urgency that you love to see in a captain and a center back.
Curled toward the back post, collision there between Eystone and Trimnell. Final minute of play of this first overtime. Those of you looking still for Louisville, Notre Dame. Well, first of all, no offense to those teams, but why would you be? The way this game has gone, you turn on this channel, you see 3-3, just stick with it, enjoy it for a little while. But if you're looking for Louisville, Notre Dame, they're nearly halfway through half number 1, still scoreless. And again, when our game is done here, we'll take you live to Dallin Cuff, Devin Kerr on the call for that one. You can find them right now in the ESPN app if that's what you're looking for.
Given what we've seen so far, it might be a little while longer. Both these teams, neither of them are going to give up. And this first half sample, there's goals. I think there's still goals left in this match.
You want more? We've seen 6 already, but there could be more. It's John Kerr and Mike Noonan on opposite sides. The head coaches will have to figure out what to throw at the other next. We've played 100 minutes. We've seen 6 goals. They're split right down the middle. Overtime number 2 between Clemson and Duke is on the way.
These moves looking real nice in the future. These moves looking real nice in the future. Never put them in and look nice. Look nice.
Doug. And Doug says you can customize and save hundreds on car insurance with Liberty Mutual. He hits his mark center stage and is crushed by a baby grand piano.
Are you replacing me?
With this guy?
Customize and save with Liberty Bibbity.
He doesn't even have a mustache.
Oh, look, a bee-boo.
Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
We are set for action in overtime number 2 between Clemson and Duke. 6 goals combined, 3-3 as we sit here. Going into the final 10 minutes, penalties potentially looming with a spot in the semifinal on the line. We'll take you through the first overtime. A goal apiece, and it started with the penalty for Clemson.
Yes, it's Tyler Trimnell involved. Again, Amir Daly, clumsy foul. Upward step, Alec Meinhardt. He hits that with a bullet, gets a bit of luck. But speaking of luck, Duke creating their own luck. It's Olfar Bjornsson, the strike partner of Ajago, getting it right place at the right time. We're even.
All right, so here's where we stand. Louisville just went up 1-0. Sonder Road, while we were getting set in commercial break, Louisville on the road took a 1-0 lead over Notre Dame. And if Duke is able to go on and take care of business here, I'm just dreamcasting maybe now, Michael, and Louisville pulls it off against Notre Dame, you could have all 4 upsets today in the quarterfinal, all 4 lower seeds going through. That is a possibility right now.
It's reminiscent of what we've seen in the season, though. The up and down nature, the parity in the Atlantic Coast Conference, it's right on the money. But I've never seen anything like this. If that happens, that has to be one of the firsts.
A 6 seed, a 7 seed already through. Either the 4 or the 5 comes through here. The 9 is beating the 1 right now. It's all happening at once here in the ACC Men's Soccer Championship. Quadruple header here on quarterfinal day. And here we are in the 3rd of those 4 games at historic Riggs Field. Still trying to decide a winner. With Michael LaHood, I'm Joe Malfa. Happy to have had you with us this evening. 10 more minutes to play. Perhaps penalties beyond. Bjornsson falls for Ajago, but a late whistle against Bjornsson as it was coming down for Ajago to do something with it.
That call from the referee and smashes into Gerbert.
Trimnell with 2 goals for Clemson. The other, the penalty from Meinhardt. For Duke, it's Ajago and Bjornsson. They're 2 big guns with a goal each, and then an own goal from a corner. That's how you get to 3-3. And we've been tied 4 times at 0s, at 1s, at 2s, and now at 3s. Periano, end line, drives it in front, cleared away by Potmar Boy. Free kick for the Blue Devils.
Mansilla, a bit impatient. Kenny Hott, so smart. swiveling, trying to get the edge, trying to get in front of Silla. Tees up this free kick. Duke, so good at set pieces. That has been where they've looked dangerous on the night.
Driven ball in from Massalas. He had a couple of guys there. Frederick nearly met it. Falling now for Jorgensen. Clemson looking to get out in transition. Silla wants it back. Chasing this one down. Hott knocks it away. And he had to be careful. He's on a yellow card from the first half, remember.
It's a goal-saving tackle from Kenny Hott. On one end, he's drawing the foul. On the other end, he's making that long busting run to make the tackle. If he misses that, Ousmane Silla's in, and may do the gritty, do whatever dance you want. That's got to be the game winner.
Jorgensen. Good clean tackle to win it. Trimnell defending. That one not so clean. Free kick coming for Duke. I think Trimnell thinks he got pulled. Field Mike's picking that one up. He was unhappy that he wasn't the recipient of a foul call to begin with. Jorgensen ends up drawing it.
Jorgensen has impressed me with just his intelligence, his know-how of the little nuances of the game, how to position your body, how to draw fouls. And he's playing to the strength of his team. Because now, take your pick. Massalas can hit it. Periano can hit it.
It's going to be Massalas. Periano vacates. Massalas whips it in. A lot of traffic in front. Whip back in through the traffic. It's still loose. Sent back over. Saved off the line. Rebound put wide. Ajago had the chance. A flurry in front. Somehow it all stayed out.
Joseph Ndema makes another monster save, and Clemson just gets let off the hook. Duke, they have their chance, and yet again, another set-piece opportunity, but back comes Clemson.
Threaded through on the run. It was there again for Clemson. Try and take another lead. Well, this is what I was alluding to in the first overtime, that we've been seeing the second overtimes produce the chaos. Now, this game gave us the added bonus of a chaotic first overtime as well, but starting to follow suit and got the memo on that chaotic second overtime.
Look at the commitment from both sides to really go for this match. They're not resting to go for penalties just yet. They're smelling blood in the water. They're trading blows from that first overtime period. Now Clemson will get their chance at a sniff in front of goal.
Bjornsson picks up that yellow. Somehow this stayed out at the other end.
Nick Periano, he puts that in the mixture. Foster Jago, he'll get his chance. Just can't wrap his foot around it. He reacts quickest. And Ndema, he's just committed to the ground. He was never going to get there. If that ball is angled inside the post, it's a goal.
Gibert helping out his keeper that time. Sliced ahead toward Bjornsson. Sean Smart had to get it away quickly. Four minutes to be played.
Now you're seeing both sides just playing direct, wanting to get the ball in their opposing opponent's half. Maybe get that ball to get the back line of a Clemson, of a Duke, to be chasing their own goal and then playing for the knockdowns, playing for second balls, maybe even drawing a set-piece opportunity.
Meinhard gets a handshake with the referee at the end of that. It's been that kind of game. 22 fouls from Clemson. Got a bevy of yellows on both sides. 6 total, 3 each. On 31 total fouls, 6 total goals. Periano. It falls for a hot. Tried to line up the volley. Now Clemson trying to size up the counter. Trimnell. Scoops it through. Duquesne on the run. It'll be shielded off well. And out for a goal kick by Acito.
It's good defending from Acito. He's waiting for this cover to come across to his side, and Trimnell telegraphs that to him, and just intelligent play.
Are we really going to go 2 for 2, you and I, on penalty kick games today?
You know it. You know it. We went through the entire regular season without anything. Goals galore. Now this.
That's 100% true. I'm sure that fans were more following along their teams than your schedule and my schedule, but it is a true fact. You and I, all ACC season long, had 0 ties in the games you and I called. It was a fluke. It was maybe a stroke of luck that there was always a winner produced in 90, and I think you and I are doing our penance here now, but I would sign up to do more of it because these games have been terrific. You and I had Louisville and Pitt, the double overtime thriller from a couple nights ago. You and I had the penalties earlier today, and now this here. Floated toward the backside, but all the way through with 90 seconds remaining. That's all that's separating us from penalties here at historic Riggs Field. And a free kick in a great spot for the Tigers. Might this be the moment for them to pull ahead for a 3rd time today? And surely the last if they do.
That's Alex Meinhardt. So smart. Jorgensen, a tired foul that he gives up, and brace yourself for impact because this could be the moneymaker.
Silla standing over it. Have to imagine he'll deliver it. Usman Silla toward the back post, and now they'll have a corner. No, a foul was called in the traffic in the box first, negating the corner for Clemson.
It's Wayne Frederick. He's such a good set-piece target and the type of player that you want in the box, and that's a clear foul. Popmart Boyd wrestles him to the ground. 25 seconds left. Oof. We're going back at it.
64th meeting all time between these two programs. It has lived up to the hype. 10 seconds to go. Maybe one last chance. Nope. Offside flag comes up. We are going to decide this on penalties here tonight at historic Riggs Field. 3rd ACC quarterfinal of the day. 2nd to go to penalties. A spot in the semifinal is there for either Duke or Clemson, and we'll decide it from 12 yards out. We were tied at 0s, at 1s, at 2s, and at 3s, and we're heading to penalties here in Clemson. After this, Duke and Clemson, a spot in the semifinal on the line.
These moves looking real nice in the future. These moves looking real nice in the future. Pull up on them and it look nice. Look nice.
Desmond Howard Here to see my college football collection.
Impressive stuff, little man.
Geico makes it easy to insure. My car and RV too.
Wow.
Gloves from your famous catch.
How'd you get those? Great smile. Is this from when the band ran on the field?
Yep, 1982.
What is this?
Oh, no, don't touch the...
Not so fast, my friends. Not so fast, my friends.
It'll turn off eventually.
For all your insurance needs from home to car to RV, it's easy to Geico.
For everyone who's endured the bad seat, finally, sweet, sweet redemption. The Lexus TX, 3-row luxury that treats every seat like the best seat.
The holidays are at the Home Depot, and our aisles are decked with savings, so you can deck it all. The halls, the yard, and even deck the deck. All while stuffing a little more joy into your stockings now at the Home Depot.
Tension starting to rise now as penalties loom here at historic Riggs Field in the quarterfinal matchup between 5th-seeded Duke and 4th-seeded Clemson. Happy to have had you along all evening long. What a wild ride. It has been a pleasure to have had you along with us for that ride with Michael Lahoud. I am Joe Malfa. Look, we warned you all at the top of the broadcast that it's one of those fun nights for us and for the neutral at home that these two teams, two of the highest scoring teams in the country, lived up to the billing 3-3 after 110 minutes.
It's been like watching this heavyweight matchup, two teams who know how to score goals, who don't give up. It's that will to win that's keeping them in this high prize match.
And there was never more than a 1-goal deficit either way. We were tied at 0s, 1s, 2s, and 3s. We'll walk you through all 6 goals in their entirety. Back in the 11th minute, Trimble started us off.
Yes, but back would come Duke, set pieces and wide play. The ball goes in, and it's Forster, Jago. Cue the bear celebration coming in hot. They would get the lead. Masalis with the corner, and that would be the dreaded own goal from Trimble. Back would come Clemson, though. The Tigers just would need a goal. You call on your ACC tournament championship hero, Trimble. Trimble would be back in the mix, not before Alex Meinhardt would get the penalty. And then, just after the go-ahead goal for Clemson, it's Bjornsson that gets the equalizer. This is madness on display, Joe.
Unbelievable game we had a chance to watch here. It's one of those that you wish they could play another 30 minutes in, but the human body can only take so much, so we have to decide it on penalties from 12 yards out. This is a battle of the wills, a battle of the mindsets, a battle of the courage here to see who goes through to the semifinal. We've already seen one penalty tonight. Remember, Meinhardt drilled it. Eystone got a piece of it, but it's still caromed in. So keep that in mind if we get to Meinhardt taking another penalty. Goalkeepers will shake hands here, and we are just about set to get things going. And Usman Silla will step up first. He's the man we thought we expected to see take the penalty in regulation, or pardon me, in overtime. It was waved off by Meinhardt. And you could see Silla wasn't happy about it. But happy when his teammate did score in the end. And now Silla, the senior, the captain, the leader for this team, will start us off in penalties. Against the 6'6" Julian Eystone, a wingspan of 6'11". That's a major advantage here in the penalties for Duke. Usman Silla hesitates, and Silla converts.
It's so important. Quality penalty kick from Silla. You see the excitement from the crowd. And it's all about that fraction in the hesitation. Keep an eye on that. As soon as he steps up, the hesitation, it has Eystone leaning to his right, and that telegraphs where the open space is to go to Silla's right side.
The noise ratchets up a bit with Periano stepping up to take now for Duke. Had 4 goals this season. All ACC second team last year. Senior from Philadelphia. Periano against Ndema, and Periano wins out.
It's one of the most difficult penalties to go up against if you're a goalkeeper. When it's hit hard, it's hit low, and it finds that bottom corner. Keep an eye on Periano. He looks up just to make sure the goalkeeper isn't cheating to that bottom corner, and he slots it to perfection.
These teams have played some thrillers through the years. Maybe none topping this one. Now stepping up, Gabay converting. Very clinically done by Joran Gabay. Perfect so far through 3 kicks overall.
And all 3 kicks favoring that right side on the player side. Gabay stepping up, and that stutter step yet again freezing Eyestone. But he has the insurance policy of elevating it, keeping it high, just to make sure that it gets into the back of the net.
Bjornsson places the ball. Very short approach this will be. Over Bjornsson, denied by Ndema. Clemson has the advantage.
And you said it, Joe, that short approach, it takes away the power that you can get on the strike. Keep an eye on this. 2 steps, doesn't get it enough to that corner. And Ndema so quick on his line. He's been quick in his reflexes. None quicker than that penalty save.
Now the pressure's on. Can Eyestone match and pick up one of his own? Gael Gibert will place it. Gibert, transfer from Oregon State. Gael Gibert, a deep breath. Eyestone bouncing back and forth. Gibert blasted upper 90. Well taken by the center back. And then the advantage squarely out on Clemson's side.
Ooh la la, what a hit from the Frenchman. The best penalty we've seen so far. There's a bit of oomph behind that. He knew where he wanted to go, and you can strut your stuff when you hit penalties like this. Goes top bins, baby. That is class.
And Ndema made a number of terrific saves in the 110 minutes. 9 of them to be exact. And already with one here. And the penalties. Jago will take this one. He scored Duke's opening goal tonight. Had 14 on the season. Transfer from Dayton. A long pause here. Forster Jago stutter steps. Maybe he overthought it. A deep breath. A slow run up. He missed frame. And now Clemson is on the precipice.
It's never a good sign when you see that hesitation, whether it's a deep breath or second guessing yourself. It's trying to force the issue to open up your body. You need to take more of an angle when you're gonna try and open it up and try and bend it towards that far corner. He gets his angles wrong, he gets his run up wrong, and this could cost Duke.
A goal here wins it. After 110 dramatic minutes, that's all! Clemson through to the semifinal on a clinically taken penalty.